primarily was drawn to GPA for advocacy, which is largely still my role within the associations. I'm an academic psychologist, and so although I have that community of colleagues, I was looking for a different community as well, colleagues who weren't necessarily in my academic department or institution, but spread throughout the state. And my focus on advocacy was to work with them to try to, bring about change in the profession or change here in Georgia in terms of mental health service delivery. When I first got started, it was around advocacy and with the Legal and Legislative Committee. And so there were psychologists on that committee who were incredibly welcoming and encouraging, Marilyn Vickers and Ann Abramowitz, kind of long-term advocacy-focused psychologists within the association who were there at that time and, brought me in and showed me the ropes.
Excited to have such interest in our town hall tonight, and glad to see you all here. And I think based on our registrations, we'll probably have a few folks trickling in and joining with us. This is a new venture somewhat for GPA to try to provide information to members and hear back from members on advocacy issues in this format.
Well, I think on the advocacy front, we've had some legislative and advocacy successes, so those are great. They're always mixed with setbacks. So I think, being with other psychologists in that kind of community is important for me. So annual meetings are always a highlight. Just to get to connect with other people and learn from each other. I think it's important for psychologists who aren't members to know how much the association's doing for them, even though they're not aware of it, or even though they're not members and not contributing. So I think when I talk to psychologists who aren't GPA members, and I tell them about that, they're often surprised that there's an association that's working that hard for them, despite the fact that they're not members. So I think I encourage people to join, not only to support that, but just because there are opportunities that just aren't, they may not be aware of. Opportunities to connect with psychologists who share interests, opportunities to serve, to work in advocacy circles. I think a lot of psychologists are hungry for those kinds of additional ways of contributing, and they just may not know that GPA provides that. So I would encourage prospective and new members to find their spot, to step into those kinds of spaces, and we certainly could use their help, so we'd welcome them to come on board.